It's another late night video. It's also another pajama wet hair video because that's kind of where it's at today. Today was another busy day, and let's see, it's almost 9 o'clock, almost exactly the same time I did my video last night. I've had a lot of things on my mind today, tonight. Um, But I guess what's on my mind right now is the fact that there's really one of the biggest parades in New Orleans is happening right now tonight. So it's Wednesday, and so that means Knicks. And the weather's really warm. It's not too hot, not too cold. So it's actually a really great parade night. But I really wasn't feeling like going to the parades. And there was a part of me that felt a little FOMO about it. Like I could be doing that kind of stuff. I could be with the kids. I could be with the kids with friends. But I think I just didn't have the heart for it tonight. And I'm just trying, not trying, I just kind of had to get comfortable with that idea that, I can miss out on some of the fun things. I don't have to do all the things. Um, and so last night I didn't sleep very well, and I haven't been sleeping well for a hot minute now. And I know it's because I'm having just so many thoughts, so many thoughts, so many thoughts. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, which I do right now several times a night, my mind just starts working. And so I've had to really employ all these breathing techniques to help me get back to sleep. But last night was a really hard night. And so today I've just been really fatigued. And I don't know about other people, but when I'm fatigued, I tend to be more emotional or just a little bit more emotionally sensitive when I'm fatigued. And so I think tonight I just decided I really didn't have it in me to go to the parade. But what I did instead was I put together a quiche, which I love to do for dinner for the kids. And I said, I'm just going to go take a walk. And so I took about an hour's walk while the quiche was baking. And it was a brisk walk, so it was exercise. But it was really just a way for me to just kind of churn a little bit, because what I'm trying to do is really work on my sleep hygiene right now. And sleep hygiene is, of course, it means all the things we do to make our sleep as good as it can be. And so typically that means at night doing, the kind of a ritual or the same things before you go to sleep, limiting your caffeine intake, again, like not doing things right before bed that will encourage you to get wired up. And for me, like I have a kind of a sleep ritual. I'll light a candle, I'll write in my journal, I'll do whatever kind of mind-body practice that I'm doing at any given time. Then I'll read in my book, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm going to really focus on trying to make sure that I'm not staying up too late, which is another problem I sometimes have, because if I'm going to be waking up a lot at night right now because I have so many thoughts going through my head, some good, some not, just churning, then I at least need to try to go to bed earlier so that I can at least, give myself a little bit more time to be restless, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm at. I'm sleepy. I'm having, again, when I'm a little fatigued, I tend to have more kind of emotional sensitivity. And I think I'm having a lot of thoughts today about things that I regret or things that I would do differently if I could do them again. Mostly having to do with kind of friendships and relationships with people, and just things I feel like I've learned over these last few years that I feel like is good learning, but comes with some things I wish I would have done differently. But that's for another video. Tonight it's just about sleep and taking care of myself. And it's funny because right before I did this video, my son told me he was having some trouble with waking up a lot at night, which I find interesting. But he has a cold right now, so I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. So I just practiced this very breathing technique with my son that I'm going to do here, which I've done before in other videos. Super simple. This really works well for me in the middle of the night when I'm trying to go back to sleep and I don't want to allow myself to get up and go through a ritual again, or whatever. If I just want to kind of lay there and try to go back to sleep, and I'm going to practice that. It's just a counting. It's a counting exercise, very simple. So, but before I do that, I'm just going to mention that the song that I'm going to add to my playlist tonight is a song by Sia. And so when I was walking this evening, typically when I exercise, whether I run or I walk, I listen to really high energy music. Tonight I did something totally different. I just wanted to kind of have a brisk walk, but also kind of bring my brain down a little. So I listened to, among other things, I listened to this album by Sia that I love, and it's SIA. And Sia has become really popular the last few years, but before she became popular, she was just an obscure, maybe obscure, maybe putting it a little more, maybe not quite accurate, but not as well known at all, songwriter, singer, who was kind of reclusive, but just a brilliant songwriter. And I love the way she sings. And her first couple of albums I just adore. And all her other stuff now has become really poppy. She's making a ton of money as a songwriter for other people. And anyway, but her early stuff is what I love. And she put out a live album. I typically do not like live albums myself, but this album is called Lady Croissant. And kind of a silly title, but it is a beautiful, mellow, a little bit dark album. Just a gorgeous album from start to finish. And so the song that I'm going to add is a song called Blow It All Away. It has nothing really to do with anything that's going on right now. I just love that song, and it's mellow, and it's lovely, and it's dramatic, and that's kind of how I feel tonight. So I'm going to add that to my playlist, Blow It All Away by Sia, and it's a live song. She just sits at the piano on this album and sings, and it's just freaking amazing. And the breathing exercise I'm going to do, I am going to actually practice it, and it's so simple, and it just involves counting. You can choose a number. I use either 5 counts on the inhale and then 5 on the exhale. I also sometimes do 4 on the inhale and exhale just to kind of make it slower, just kind of depending on what I think of in the moment. So it's counting either to 4 or 5 on the inhale silently in your head, and then pausing for 2 counts, and then exhaling, counting again to 4 or 5. So I just did this with Arlo and taught him this little breathing exercise. So I'm just going to do it again here in case anybody happens to watch this and wants to do it too. This is, if I do this to get back to sleep, I'm doing it laying down. I'm not getting out of my bed. I'm not sitting up. But here, of course, I'm sitting up. And this is an exercise. It doesn't have to be for sleep. This can be just something to bring, just like with soft belly, just to bring a little bit of calm in any given moment. And counting can be a nice distractor, which is why I like it in the middle of the night when I'm trying to go back to sleep. Because what happens to me in the middle of the night is that immediately I start thinking. My mind just starts racing and going on stuff, and it's not what I want in the middle of the night. So counting can help as a distractor from that. So it can be done during the day if a person is feeling just really dysregulated and needs to just kind of focus. So I'm going to practice this counting exercise. If anybody's doing this with me, I encourage you to close your eyes and just start to count. And I'm going to do 5 counts, and then I'll switch to 4 just for the fun of it. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to slow it down just to have that effect. I'm going to slow it down to 4 counts, but I'm going to use, again, with any exercise like this, you want to try to use all your lung capacity. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's so simple, but can be really effective for a lot of, again, primarily when you want to distract your mind and kind of slow it down. And so by counting silently in your mind, it is a fabulous distractor and can get you right back to sleep or take you away from whatever stressful thing is happening in the moment. I highly recommend it as a means of